welcome back, everyone. My next guest on Hollywood Live, I'm Jack Canfield, your host, is Karlan Tucker. He is living in Denver at the moment, and he's a financial everything. You've owned all kinds of everything. You've been in all kinds of countries. He's owned stocks, bonds, metals, everything. So you are someone who can recommend people to things because you've been there, done that, and know exactly how it all works.
Yeah, I really have lived retirement vicariously through my clients for 36 years, so I know what they have in front of them and can help them with that.
So let's start with just a basic question. So tell us a little more about yourself and your company and what you all do.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 36 years, and I've had the privilege of interviewing 5,000 people and seeing their portfolios and seeing what they did right, what didn't work out so well, and then taking that knowledge and advising our clients on it today. We have also 800 advisors that work with our company. I've been married for 32 years. I've got 3 kids, a grandchild, and I survived being shot in the back.
Wait, you survived being shot in the back. You got to give us 30 seconds on that.
Yeah, so a friend accidentally shot me in the back, through the seat of the car I was driving. He's in the back seat. Didn't know the gun was loaded, and I managed to survive the incident, so I'm grateful to be here.
Well, I'm glad you survived. I'm glad you survived. So you are in the financial world. You probably weren't sitting in 5th grade going, I want to grow up and do that. What was the moment when you decided, I'm going to take that path?
Well, I grew up in a farm in Michigan, and when my father was 53, he lost his health to a disease called farmer's lungs. So he had to sell the farm, move to Arizona for the warm, dry desert air for his lungs. And then my parents had a nest egg, something they never had before. So I want to make sure I help them protect the nest egg and provide income for many, many years going forward. Now, my mother just passed away last September at age 88, and she was well taken care of for all of those years, 25 years in retirement.
Now, you say you've reviewed 5,000 investment portfolios.
Right.
Tell us about what you typically see when you do that.
I see typically 60% stocks, 40% bonds. I see people that are confused about what they have, don't know for sure why they have it. Often they tell me their current advisor speaks in language that they don't fully understand, so it gives them fear or concern over how the portfolio is being managed. And I see typically high fees, no downside protection, and lacking monthly income. So people just do withdrawals, and then they don't know how long it will live. And that's why America's greatest fear is outliving their life savings. They don't know if that portfolio will survive as long as they will.
So what do you do differently than other people to help people be able to retire and also stay retired?
Yeah, so we put in downside protection in that portfolio. The stock market doesn't only go up, it goes in both directions. So we need to be prepared for when it goes down. And we put that protection in the portfolio. We lock in the gains so that you can make the market count. You get to keep what it's giving you. We provide the secured monthly income, and typically we can do it for lowering their fees from what they're currently paying.
Now, you have something called the All Seasons portfolio. What is that?
Yeah, so it's kind of what I described there, except we design it to last and survive for 30 years. Whatever season we're looking at, whatever the storms are that are thrown our direction, inflation, deflation, rising markets, crashing markets, longevity, we want that portfolio to last for that entire duration of retirement, and that could be 30 years. And in 30 years, the market might decline 3 times, about every 10 years. So we got to be prepared for that, and that's what we do in our preparation and planning of that portfolio.
So we have a few extra minutes. I'm going to ask you some questions. So I walk into your office, I sit down with you. How do we start?
So I would greet you and say, do you have any questions for me? And sometimes the folks do and sometimes they don't. And then I would say, may I ask you a few questions? And for the next hour, I learn everything I can about you. What's important to you? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you retired? When do you want to retire? How much income do you need? How much risk are you willing to take in the market or not willing to take? And then I put together, through comprehensive studies, a number of hours in between our first time we meet and our second, a proposal that shows you exactly what I can do in this all seasons portfolio. We spend 6 to 8 hours putting that together. It's all complimentary. There is no cost or obligation, but we find that most clients are thrilled with what we've done, and we gain new clients that way.
Wow, so you do all that up front for free.
Yeah, I do it complimentary because I believe that if I've done the right thing for them, most people will see the value in it and then do business with me. There's no strings attached. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But when they look at it, most people are like, for the first time, I can see I'm not going to run out of money. I can see that you've mitigated the risk in the market. You've de-risked my portfolio. You've covered longevity. You're providing me secured monthly income after tax at the rate that I want. And now I've got some peace of mind I've never had before. This is encouraging.
When you're out there thinking about this, just to the general public, When's the best time for someone to start talking to someone like you, in their 20s or 30s, after they
Yeah.
have money? What would you say?
Yeah, the sooner the possible, because of that eighth wonder of the world, compounded interest. And if you can do it when you're young, and put off your desires a little bit, and not get credit card debt and other things, everybody lives in the future. Tomorrow's the future. Don't sell your future for today's short-term satisfaction. So the younger they are, the better. Typically, young folks don't have a lot of money, so we help them to begin to grow those accounts by monthly contributions and so on. A lot of people need help even saving to get their first home. And we focus on probably age 50 and older. We'll help anyone. We even have a division that does college planning and helps parents get money for kids to go to college without going into debt. I find that most households in America have enough money for retirement or to help the kids with college, but not both. And if you've only got enough money for one, you got to pay for your own retirement, because the kids can get scholarships, grants, and federal aid, and none of that's available in retirement.
That's true. There are no scholarships.
Yeah, that's right. Haven't found any yet.
Never thought of that. That's cool. One question I always like to ask my guests, because the people who are sitting out there always want to know tips to success. So if you were sitting here looking back at you when you first got started, here you are, well, what advice would you give to the younger you, if you could give advice to you?
I would say make yourself an appreciating asset. We think of Americans as the largest assets, the equity in their home, maybe $200,000. And yet, when I see these retirees retire, many of them live for 30 years in retirement, collecting $33,000 a year from Social Security. That's $1 million. If you make $100,000 a year for 40 years of work, that's $4 million. Make yourself an appreciating asset by attending things that will give you more knowledge, making sure your friends around you lift you up instead of pull you down. And I spend a lot of money every year going to further my education wherever I can find it, and I read about one book a week. So the combination of those things continually gives me new information. And Warren Buffett says that because of his reading 200 to 600 pages a day, about 3 or 4 days a week, he finds new information with which he can rely upon for making better decisions. And so every week he says, I'm doing better and better at making my decisions with this newfound information. And I think, when the facts change, I change my mind. What do others do? Well, you got to learn stuff and put it into practice and make a big difference that way in your career. I would encourage people to make themselves an appreciating asset.
Very good, very good. Well, you've appreciated well, I can tell.
Yeah, thank you.
So if people want to learn more, they're watching this, they say, hey, I like what this guy's talking about, I need to do that. How do they reach out to you? Where do they find you?
Hey, we'd love to visit with them. They can call us at 1-800-734-0076, or they can find us on the web at retirewithtucker.com.
Retire with Tucker, I like that. Okay, good. So basically, I just want to emphasize to everyone watching this man and his company will give you a free analysis. And he can do that because he knows that most people actually stay with him, so it's wonderful. So take advantage of that. There's no reason not to do that. Hey, thank you very much, Tucker.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Karlan Tucker. All right, stick around, folks. We have one more interview after this, but stay. Our sponsors will make all this possible, so stick around for these messages.